What did I just watch? No, that's the question I'm asking myself. Because if I were to compare it to Legends, that's saying something. This is Mega Man NG, and we are back with another Flash episode review. Before we begin, I do want to say that this is the mid-season finale. And it's not what I would expect. In fact, I found this episode to be kind of meh. I provide my thoughts on the episode, Don't Run. So here's the deal. I'll be providing a summary, as well as some of the things that I found to be questionable. Because let's be honest, comparing this episode to Legends, their mid-season finale, which I will say is one of the best mid-season finales I've ever seen, that's saying a lot. Let us get started. The holidays are here, and it's anything but pleasant. Not everyone's in a festive mood, but things for Team Flash are about to get a whole lot worse. Amunet Black kidnaps Caitlin for the purpose of an unexpected operation. If that's not enough, Barry gets captured by the Thinker and put in a Speed Force cage. Team Flash is left up the creek without a paddle, and though they want to save both, Wells suggests to them to make a choice. Barry or Iris? Who will they save first? Can they be able to save them both? Where do I even begin? Compared to the previous episode before the crossover, that episode was a whole lot better. However, here, what just happened? The episode's a mixed bag in my opinion because I just can't even find the right words. I just can't. There are some things that are good, but everything else was just bad. The plot, for example, is connected both ways. It's split between two different situations. Caitlin is captured by Amunet Black, who's back, and is forced to operate to save someone's life, a man named Dominic. While Barry, on the other hand, is captured by the Thinker and kept in a restrained cage. Well, for most of the episode, of course. Well, the most of the focus on the plot is that Team Flash has to make a decision. Should they save Caitlin from Amunet Black or Barry from the likes of the Thinker? And I kind of like this dilemma. However, my problem with it is that I felt that, I feel that some of the stuff in regards to the Thinker, compared to what it was like 2 weeks ago with his origins and why he's motivated to go after Barry Allen, I felt that the addition of Amunet Black really kind of hindered the episode a bit. But after watching this, I feel now it's a bit... These two situations are connected, and we actually learn why. But I will say it was alright. The rest of it, however, was a mess. It was a mess because, especially in regards to Team Flash, because Iris is so fixated on saving both that she doesn't realize that it's actually going to be doing more harm than good. It added more tension, it added more emotion, and all around made things a bit uncomfortable. Even Earth 2 Wells knows this because he realizes that if they were going to save both, they're not going to be able to save either of them. It's just like being in the Marines. The best decision is not always the good decision. A decision that is considered to be best normally would get them all in harm's way. And sometimes you have to make a choice. And it can't always be the right one. That to me was what I liked about the episode, as well as having to take initiative and pretty much tell Iris that they can't save both. They have to make a choice. Because if they do try to save both, they won't be able to do it even if they try. And I really liked it. And it made Iris realize what was really important. So they went with the initiative and rescued Caitlin. Which, in a fight scene that was kind of meh at best. It was alright. But it also set things up towards the end, and the Thinker's true plan. Now, I was surprised by the ending. I really was surprised by the ending what the Thinker's real plan was. Yes, we know he got his powers from the particle accelerator explosion, but to make matters worse, it kind of also did a little damage onto his body and he needed a new host. That's where Dominic comes into play. Dominic ends up becoming the Thinker's new host, and this, I will admit, is a bit interesting. It really is a bit interesting because it shows the Thinker being really dangerous. Not to mention, you want to know what I'm reminded of? Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, where Master Xehanort had to give up his heart to possess Terra's body so he can be able to live on and see through the Keyblade War. I can't believe I made a Kingdom Hearts reference in a Flash review. But you guys know me as someone who does Kingdom Hearts videos on YouTube, so I had to add it in there, and plus it's the most obvious. And I will admit it was done really well, and the ending helps set things up for the next part of the series, where Barry is already in a whole slew of heck. And the heck is only gonna get worse from here, trust me on it for sure. It's gonna get a whole lot worse. However, for as much as I liked about the ending with the twist, there were 3 issues that were present. 3 issues that I felt really dragged the episode down. Number 1 was the humor. Sure, there was some great chemistry between Cisco and Wells, but I'm referring to the humor courtesy of one Ralph Dibny. Especially considering his humor really was not in the best of moods, considering that the rest of Team Flash were really tense and trying to find a way to save Barry and Caitlin. And I felt that the humor there really didn't help. So Dibny, you kind of dropped the ball. It didn't help that you weren't even around the crossover, so that's something. Reason number 2, Iris West Allen. Don't get me wrong, I have no disrespect for her actress. The actress who portrays Iris West Allen is very good and very well done, and she can deliver it. However, here in this episode, I felt like Iris West Allen just doesn't get it. She doesn't have what it takes to be a leader, and despite the fact that she at least tried, it's not enough. It's not enough personally, and when Barry came back, he should have been known as leader of Flash. Although in my honest opinion, if anyone that should have been leader, it should have been Wells. Wells has what it takes to be a leader, and sometimes a leader has to make a tough choice, have to make the tough calls. Iris, unfortunately, felt she wanted to do what was best for them both, and look where that got them. Thankfully, Wells was able to help fix that and have Iris make a decision, and that decision did help out big time. Unfortunately, I only wish that in the future her role being a leader should be stepped down. I feel that Wells should be the leader because Iris, I feel she's too emotionally attached to Barry and everybody else that her emotions will end up doing more harm than good. That I felt was one of the things that made the episode a letdown. Number 3, the ending. Yeah, I know, the ending came right out of left field, and I really liked it. But it came at the expense of the actor who played Clifford DeVoe. Why did they have to go that route? I really like seeing the Thinker in a wheelchair. It reminded me of Brainiac, a mix of Brainiac and Professor X. Or in a way, it's a mix of both, an evil Professor Xavier. And seeing them go to this route and have him be a new body just came right out of left field. I wonder what happened. I have to wonder, does it have to do with the actor who played Clifford DeVoe? Did a change had to be made? Why? I really can't figure it out because I really like seeing the Thinker as he is now. But if it's meant to move the story along, I can understand that, but there needs to be an explanation as to why they decided to went through this route. I'm going to have to look into it and find out because these issues kind of hampered the episode big time. It really did, but don't get me wrong, the episode was alright. If you can pass through the negatives, rather endure it, the episode is okay. I'm more curious at how the rest of the season is going to play out with Barry now being charged with a serious crime. A serious crime that could lead to some serious time. And seeing the trailer for the next part of the season with Barry having to be convicted and sent to trial, it's only going to get really bad, and the Thinker is all over that for sure. I only also hope that stuff involving the Thinker does not hinder this episode, does not hinder the season. It's bad enough that things are trying to be more lighthearted, but what they're doing is doing it in a wrong direction. Sometimes you can't replicate what has already worked. You gotta improvise and try something new, or else the series is gonna get stale and monotonous. As far as my rating go for this episode, I give this a 6. If I were to be brutally harsh, I'd give it a 5. Because the episode does have some good things. The rest of it is just not. And I feel personally, I wish the writers have a lot of work to do in order to make this season better. Because so far, it's a bit of a mixed bag. And compared to season 3, well, that's saying something. It really is. However, I will say this. I did watch Legends of Tomorrow after this. And let me tell you, it is one of the best episodes ever. One of the best mid-season finales ever blows this Flash episode out of the bloody water. I loved it so much because it followed up on the events after the passing of Professor Martin Stein, or rather in this case, the departure of Victor Garber. Thank you so much for everything, Mr. Garber. You are awesome. He wanted to move on to other projects, and how they handled his passing was done so well. And now Jefferson Jackson is departing. Can we blame him? Because to him, Professor Stein is like family. It means a lot to him. And him trying to hopefully find a way to save him is like a reminder of Back to the Future. And I did watch Back to the Future. Except the only difference here is that the young Professor Stein did not take the advice of Marty McFly and decided to just live his life knowing that in the end it's going to happen. He has no regrets. And hopefully Jefferson Jackson will come back, or rather Jax. I hope he does come back, because it's not Legends without Firestorm. And it's amazing how an episode involving, or rather a series, involves secondary characters from the Arrowverse working together to save all of time, and does so much better than a show involving a speedster. That I can't understand. But who am I to complain? I love Legends of Tomorrow so much. Too bad I gotta wait till February for new episodes. So yes, that is pretty much it for my Flash episode review, or rather my mid-season finale review. There will be no new Flash reviews until January. Yeah, a little bit of a hiatus, but I guess it's fine. I got no complaints with it. The only thing I hope for is that the writers can actually learn from their mistakes and actually make it better. Because if not, then the show is doomed. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the like button. It really does mean a lot to me. And I will see you guys, well, next month in January 2018. This is Megabet NJ signing off. Peace out.